Doosra Point, hosted by Paris and Mosul.
This could be 50. It is. Pakistan win the World Cup. India lift the World Cup. That's a big six.
Doosra Point.
3, 2, 1, and we live, Mr. Pasha. क्या हो गया ये?
Huh?
What happened, man?
That's Pakistan cricket for you, man.
By the way, I forgot to tell everyone this is a remote podcast. I'm in Pakistan, Karachi, and my friend Waris Pasha is still in Houston.
Long distance podcast for the first.
Long distance podcast. Sound quality will check, but let's see. Yeah, last year when I landed in Karachi, we were a match away from winning a Champions Trophy. और मैं यहाँ पे आया था ये सोच के कि फिर पाकिस्तान इंग्लैंड को हराएगा, वही नॉस्टैल्जिया सब कुछ, and bam, how bad was that?
Well, that's Pakistan cricket. Like I said, that's Pakistan cricket for you. 1 minute up, next minute down.
Seriously, man, seriously.
It is a classic sort of for Pakistan के एक मैच आप तकरीबन इनिंग से जीते और दूसरा मैच आप इनिंग से हार ही गए.
हाँ, मतलब मैं somewhere in the corner of my mind I knew that could happen, but the way it happened.
But we even in the when we spoke about पिछले मैच से पहले जब बात हुई थी, I mean I still said कि batting is your weakest link and Babar Azam wasn't playing, तो एक gap वैसे ही आ गया था. Obviously जो भी Usman came and he was on debut. So batting was always going to be the weakest link for the whole tour, not just this game. And inexperience showed at the end of the day. And I still think I'm not sure कि knowing कि England की batting lineup भी under pressure थी. Why would you win the toss and bowl? I still feel कि अगर हमने bowling की होती on the first day on a fresh pitch, it might have been different.
Could have been a different situation, but I think it was a bold decision. I was when he made that decision, Sarfraz, I was okay because I again didn't want to bat in the fourth innings. I knew that you won't get England out for under 200. So fourth inning में batting करनी पड़ जाती, so I was actually okay. I wasn't
I'm not sure.
bummed out by that decision.
You did the exact same thing what Root did. Root did in the first match. First match में Root ने भी exactly यही कहा था जो अभी आपने कहा है कि we didn't want to bat in the fourth innings because pitch deteriorate होती whatever. And see what happened. I mean, you hardly got a fourth innings when you won by 9. हमें तो मतलब उन्होंने bat करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ी. तो fourth innings क्या? So, I think still knowing that your bowling is your strength, and I agree with you that typically when you win the toss you should bat. But again, in the middle subcontinent, UAE, that makes sense. But in England, knowing the conditions and the ball is swinging, जो पहले दिन swing हो रही थी, वो बाकी दिन नहीं हुई है. The pitch always settles down after the first two sessions in England.
Yeah. In hindsight, I agree with you. But उस वक्त I was okay. For me, it was always okay. It was always the first session versus the last session of the test match. So are you more comfortable facing the new ball, or would you rather not face the new ball and then bat in the fourth innings? I thought, personally, I was okay with the decision. I was with Sarfraz. It was like, okay, I would rather just let the ball swing here, there, sideways, than to bat in the fourth innings when we have to chase 200 plus. But it badly backfired. And when the ball started swinging, I was like, man, why did we even make that decision? Because if it was going to swing, again, my assumption was कि आपको पहले से पता होता है. You're closer to the wicket. You see there's a lot of grass or the conditions are conducive for swinging the ball. So why did you? I started blaming him, but I was okay when he made that decision. Regardless of that, it was a bad decision. but the way it was exposed, and I honestly, the ball was swinging, and there were some good deliveries that got our batsmen out, but some of those dismissals were just not on. Sarfraz, Azhar Ali.
The the biggest letdown was Azhar Ali and Asad Shafiq. So they are your senior players. Um, I mean, Azhar ne 850 ki, but Asad ne bhi 850 ki in the first test match, but in the second test match, they didn't do anything. And without Babar Azam, Sarfaraz didn't do shit throughout both test matches. Batting में तो कुछ भी नहीं किया उसने. So it wasn't, there was too much pressure with a very young side, very inexperienced side. I still think ball करना चाहिए था because even the bowling maybe with Mohammad Abbas and Hassan Ali, I mean, they played like 10 test matches, so they're also very inexperienced, but still it feels they're much more settled than the batting lineup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've never been so concerned about our bowling because you can just pick someone from a domestic structure. रात को 2 बजे उठा के bowling करो on that guy. Chances are that guy will bowl a decent spell.
And he'll do something.
And he'll do
He'll be
something.
decent.
Yeah, and yes, it's not like you're batting, and someone like Azhar Ali, and I'm going to be more harsh on Azhar Ali because Azhar Ali has been around for a very long time. As you know, I was not in favor of him opening the innings, and in hindsight, I think he is your best batsman statistically. He has a lot of experience, but he is not pulling his weight, unfortunately.
Especially, and especially after Misbah and Yunus' retirement. I mean, these guys have to take the weight, And I feel Asad Shafiq bhi let down actually, in the last 6-7 test matches, he's averaging like in the low 30. Or एक आध innings निकाल दो तो Asad Shafiq has declined further. So he hasn't really stepped up and taken on the responsibility. It almost feels like उसको 5 down या 6 down में वापस भेज दो तो शायद वो comfortable हो जाए. उसको जो promote किया है to 2 down, he's not been able to.
That's a good point.
He's not able to handle it. He was a prolific scorer in that position. He's got the records at that position, number of centuries and stuff. But now without them, although I remember जब मैं मिला भी था यहाँ Houston में Asad Shafiq से, so he said कि मैं, I'd want to play up, and he showed the eagerness to actually go up the order. He said कि आप Yunus और Misbah retire हो गए तो I'll go up the order, and मैंने हमेशा up the order ही खेला है. But he hasn't performed, He simply hasn't. So, I mean, he wanted to do it, but he hasn't been able to do much at all. And like you said, Azhar bhi कुछ भी नहीं किया. I guess 58 key, but overall a disappointment. I think those two guys had to step up.
I mean, if Usman Salahuddin had scored 15-4 innings, I would have said, okay, fine, the guy showed something. Magar, someone like Azhar Ali or Asad Shafiq, you expect more. Especially when, as you said, Misbah and Yunus are not around. I just don't see that, and I don't want to make the same mistake we made with Hafiz, where we gave him 20 years, and he still was the same player he was 20 years ago. I would rather go out and find a new Babar Azam and take that punt on that new talent than to just keep trying with Azhar Ali. I know it's a risky decision, and it may be a rash decision, but that's what I'm thinking, honestly. And I'm thinking Fakhar Azam opening the inning for sure.
Fakhar Azam.
Sorry, Fakhar Azam. Fakhar Zaman. Oh, okay, it's 8:51 Ramzan in Karachi. I'm struggling.
It's a bit early.
It is early, and I'm hungry already.
Batting नहीं हो रही आपसे.
Yeah. So.
बहुत ही harsh है. I've never been that harsh कि उसको drop कर दें. He's statistically, he's been our most prolific scorer. I mean.
No. So I'm not saying drop him. No, I'm not saying drop him, Azhar Ali. I'm just saying just push him down the order.
That I don't disagree with. I still think मैंने stats नहीं देखे, but I'd love to see his stats. as an opener on its own and as a one-down player on its own. And I'm pretty sure कि जो one-down के जो उसके starts होंगे, they'll be far better than
Opening the innings.
Opening the innings, which he's been doing for the last sort of year and a half, 2 years. I'm sure, he hasn't fared well as an opener compared to his other positions. So I would be in favor of him also dropping down, but opener दूसरा भी नहीं है या तो शान मसूद if he was sort of fit, उसकी कोई knee issues थी तो वो नहीं आया. Otherwise, I think he might have opened. Imam ul Haq, I think is probably one to groom for the future. So उसको आप chance दें और let him get more games. John Masood can come up open, or even Fakhar Zaman, you give him a try.
Yeah, and again, no one has any lien marked over that position. So if Fakhar doesn't perform in next 3 or 4, and he should be given a clear mandate कि भाई 5 test match हैं जो भी है. It's not just try him once and then try the other guy, Shan Masood. Shan Masood is I think is your natural heir to Azhar Ali's left spot if he leaves it, because Shan Masood has been there. He has performed a little bit. He's shown a few things. So I think Fakhar Zaman is going to be too drastic. I know I'm a fan of having an aggressive opener. But yeah, you give Shan Masood a try. And even if that doesn't work out, then Fakhar, I know he's not your technically most sound batsman. Give him a go.
England में तो खैर, your best batsmen tend not to struggle as well. So Fakhar Zaman in English conditions would have been a difficult proposition, I think, with a swinging ball, Jay Manson, broad key bowling. I'm not sure Fakhar Zaman wide ball player, but again, you got to groom him and give him that experience, and then I guess judge.
And Fakhar Zaman has 37 first-class matches under his belt, with an average of 41, which is not exceptional, but it's not bad. His highest score is 205, so the guy can bat.
But a bit test matches to बहुत आ रहे हैं. I mean, we have a series against Australia, a series against New Zealand. Then we're going to South Africa. So there's quite a few test matches come this year. So
yes.
And UAE में खेलेंगे. UAE में तो I would almost say कि Fakhar Zaman को ही खिला लें UAE में, तो it might not be a bad idea.
हाँ, एक डबल हंड्रेड बना के confidence आ जाएगा.
हाँ, exactly. So it might not be a bad idea. So let's see, पता नहीं क्या selectors क्या करते हैं.
But I actually like the fact Asad Shafiq and Azhar Ali both were looking for county stint. I hope they get it. I don't know what happened. The talks were in the final round.
I'm not sure if we got it or not, but कोशिश तो करें. I mean, that'd be great just for them as well, because it's also not, there was one of the things they were saying, it's also not easy for Azhar and Asad Shafiq. Both are not playing white ball cricket pretty much. Pakistan के लिए तो खेल नहीं रहे, so they're not getting that international exposure or constant sort of exposure to international matches and stuff. तो वो हर 3-4 महीने बाद टेस्ट मैच खेलते हैं, which is not frequent enough to be in that rhythm of playing and mindset and on tour. वो भी बहुत impact करता होगा. And domestic आप जितना भी खेल लें, it's not the international standard. तो एक वो drop off तो होता ही है. And then when you have such a big gap, I mean, I can't remember last test match हमने श्रीलंका से खेला था. Now you can imagine खेला है. अब असद शफीक तो फिर भी क्या PSL में खेल रहा था, अजहर ने तो PSL में खेला भी नहीं.
Yeah, you raise a very good point. Before this podcast, I was just thinking, things that I wanted to talk to you about. Especially एक चीज ये थी कि यार, this whole separate teams for different formats in the modern history, in the recent history, was started by Australia when they have way too many players to accommodate. और फिर उन्होंने कहा ठीक है यार, तुम लोग टेस्ट मैचेस खेलो, तुम लोग वनडेज खेलो, and they had a big central contract pool, and it worked perfectly for them. And I think everybody else just they wanted to be like Australians, and you saw this as a fashion कि ये आपकी वनडे टीम है, ये आपकी टेस्ट टीम है. I think don't pretend. If you don't have that wide of a pool, just make players play. If there are players who are good or who can play across different formats, play them. ये कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ कि just because Fakhar Zaman is an aggressive player who's performed well in one-dayers, he cannot play in test matches. So ये भी मुझे थोड़ा लग रहा है कि हम कोशिश करेंगे हमारे पास 2 teams हों, and that's a great point because international cricket is something else. It's not playing in Kyrgyzstan trophy. तो अगर 6 महीने बाद ही आप टेस्ट मैचेस खेल नहीं रहे, ये बंदे आते हैं 6 महीने बाद, 3 महीने बाद, and then they try and find their feet. Maybe it's not a good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, ने जो अभी किया है recently, अभी if you look, we have picked a lot of the T20 players. I mean, Fahim
Yeah.
Ashraf, Shad, Hassan Ali, they're all white ball players. I mean, they're playing Test cricket for the very first time in international Test cricket. अभी उन्होंने debuts किए हैं. It's not like they have a lot of experience. They're predominantly known for their T20 and one international cricket. So I mean, it's not like we have two very separate teams now. काफी हद तक एक ही team है, but I do think कि game T20 especially बहुत specialist game होगी. It is a complete different skill set, and not you're talking about like the Andre Russells and all these guys who are Bravo ho gaya, and Yusuf Pathan types. They're very special. Afridi jaise ho gaya, for example. I mean, he was tailor made for T20 cricket. He was never made for even one international cricket. मेरे हिसाब से तो Afridi के लिए was too long. He was देखिए 10 ball 4 छक्के मारेगा घर जाओ. That was it. That was his mindset. That was his skill set. I mean, उसमें लंबी इनिंग खेलने की तो मतलब इम्पॉसिबल सी बात है ना. आप उसे कहें कि 30-40 बॉलिंग खेल लें. I mean, he probably do it once in a blue moon. So it is a complete different game बन गया है, at least in my opinion. तो एक टीम होना मुश्किल है. बहुत exceptional talent हो, like Babar Azam है, Shadab है, Fahim. They're very good players, all-round utility players who can potentially adjust to different forms of cricket. But you won't find all sorts of, like Asad Shafiq, Azhar Ali, all of these guys will always be a bit one-dimensional.
Yeah, no, not every player, but what I'm kind of wary of, or my concern is कि कोई tacit agreement ना हो कि यार just make a statement नहीं खेल सकते या नहीं खेलना चाहिए. I don't think it's happening, but I see the tendency to just pick separate teams. And I hope that that's not the case. What I say is, and why I say that is something like Talat Hussain, who I thought, again, he's averaging 28 in first-class cricket, and averaging 45 in list A, which is wonder. He's a talent. I want him to be pushed quicker than I fear we will. I don't want to just ये नहीं कि ठीक है बच्चा है और सिर्फ T20 खेलता है, PSL की performance है. Fast track them because we don't have a good domestic structure. So as you said, I agree with you. Push them in and make them play whatever kind of international cricket as quickly and as much as you can, and then test them as quickly as you can, rather than just trying Azhar Ali and Asad Shafiq and bringing Hafiz back in for the next 3 years. और फिर आपके पास कुछ वो vacuum खत्म नहीं होएगा. So I just want the selection to be a little bit more aggressive, and I like what they've done up until this point. If you're right, they have tried a lot of youngsters. मगर ये चलता रहे, or maybe just pick up the pace a little bit more.
I think in Zamam, since he's come in, he's actually done pretty well in terms of choosing, a decent side, except for the Fawad Alam sort of scenarios. Otherwise, he's given quite a few youngsters a good run, and the selection's been decent overall. I don't think I have many issues.
No, I don't have any major issues. But just a quick step out of our current discussion, we'll come back into it. Fawad Alam broke his dressing room's window. Did you hear that? What an unfortunate incident.
How do you get timed out? I don't think I've ever heard of that. कि आप batting करने उतरे नहीं, like within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you were sent back.
That's a rule.
I've never heard of that being applied yet.
Let's just say Fawad Alam की luck में कोई मसला है. So first he doesn't get selected. Then someone gets injured, as we were joking about. Hopefully someone gets injured and he gets a nod. That happens. He doesn't get a nod. I agree with that decision also that he doesn't get a nod. उसके बाद he gets timed out. And then, I mean, the worst part is, अगर वो कोई aggressive Australian player की तरह कुछ बाकी तोड़ने की कोशिश कर, मैं कहता है यार, okay, more power to you. The poor guy was just trying to throw his bat into his kit bag, और वो उड़ के शीशे पे चले गए. तो वो कोई खास कोई भरम ही नहीं थे, बेचारा बैग पे फेंक रहा था, वो भी मिस कर दिया, उसने शीशे पे जाके लगी है. So I thought that was funny.
He just got bad luck, man.
Yeah.
कहते हैं किस्मत खराब है बंदे की.
Yeah, he shouldn't. उसको कोई लॉटरी की टिकट लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, कम से कम इस साल.
That's for sure.
Coming back, how impressed were you with Shahid? I know 350. Everyone's comparing with Steve Smith, which I think is very premature. मगर फिर भी.
Very premature. वो देखा आपने कि उसने मिकी आर्थिक से शर्ट भी लगाई हुई थी, अगर मैं.
अच्छा, I didn't know. I read, yeah, कि कोई शर्ट था रहा मिकी आर्थिक. What was the bet exactly?
The bet was कि if he did 50s, 350s, so he'll take the whole team after dinner. So Mickey Arthur actually lost that.
Yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed his batting.
नहीं, he's got some talent, यार. हम तो पहले ही कहा था कि he has potential and he's one for the future. So
हाँ, और जो पहली इनिंग्स भी थी सेकंड टेस्ट मैच की. It was good to see him not giving up just because everybody else around him couldn't bat well.
yeah,
He applied himself. It wasn't a very easy wicket to bat on, so it was good to see him apply that way.
he might be the highest scorer जो 3 टेस्ट मैचेस खेले हैं, अगर तीनों का एग्रीगेट देखें ना, he might be the highest scorer. 350s और किसी ने तो नहीं की.
नहीं, 150. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I haven't actually crunched numbers, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah. उसने जब bet की थी मिकी आर्थिक से कि मैं 3 टेस्ट मैच में at least 350s करूंगा, he proved himself right. He did it.
Yeah, very aggressive cricketer. My fear for him is a little bit कि वो शोएब मलिक वाला scene, because if you remember, Shoaib Malik started off as a good off spinner who had modeled his action on Zaklan Mushtaq. Bowled decent initially. एकदम से उसकी batting अच्छी हुई, and then he stopped focusing on his bowling.
That's true. Although I think Shadab is more known for his bowling right now when he came in. I guess it's the same here. You're right. Shoaib Malik के साथ भी यही था.
हाँ.
Primarily as an off-spinning batsman. And then you're right. He completely, went the batting route.
Yeah.
But I think he has much more potential though than what Shoaib Malik had, even when he came in early, like a clone of Saklan.
Yeah.
Close to being Saklan.
No, you're right. He's a leg spinner. They're always more exciting than any other finger spinner. Uske baad, yeah, there's something about him. The guy has that persona. He has that presence, that aura, which is great. I just, unless he becomes, as prolific as Steven Smith, or फिर आपके पास he's averaging 15 test matches and one-dayers, and then you can't possibly focus on your bowling if you are that good of a batsman. पर ये ना हो कि ना batting कभी average 30 से ऊपर जाए, bowling भी just falls through a crack. But apart from that, yeah, I'm in love, man. I'm a fan. Fahim Ashraf, I still have high hopes, but he was very lukewarm.
हाँ, I mean he was bowling well, यार. Batting तो इंग्लैंड में बहुत होती है. I think अभी जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया न्यूजीलैंड की सीरीज है ना, in UAE, that will tell us more कि अपने conditions में, what is true talent and how they fare and how they do. Because in those conditions, I'd expect them to be a bit more dominating. Yasir Shah would be back, which would be great. I don't think I've seen 2 leg spinners bowling in tandem for Pakistan for a while, and that might just happen against Australia and New Zealand, where आप Yasir Shah Shahid को खिला, मैं तो खिला दूँ.
मैं भी खिलाता हूँ. I was actually thinking, how is that a good thing or a bad thing you have? But they're very different bowlers.
They are very different bowlers. I mean, ideally, I'd like to have an off spin and a leg spin because what
Left, yeah.
But off spin, we haven't had a very good off spinner in a while. So I think these two get the nod for me. दो 3 fast bowler खेले, Amir and Hassan Ali और Mohammad Abbas में से तीनों में से 2 खेलेगा, and Fahim Ashraf again is your fifth option. You played two fast bowlers, two leggies, and Fahim Ashraf was your fifth option, and you're good. Baki batting.
Yeah. So in this team against England, who do you think should be just dropped right away? There's no decision, no question.
Playing 11 में or 16 में?
Playing 11, yeah, दोनों matches की मिला के playing 11. So that makes it what 12 players.
I don't think anybody gets dropped here. I think the whole team stays as is. किसी को drop करूँगा मैं 16 में से Sami Aslam को शायद कर दूँ.
Without trying the guy. Sami Aslam is, for me, is in contention for your opening slot test matches.
No, I'm done.
You're done with him? Why, man? He's young.
I've never liked him for some reason.
I think he's at best he's going to be your test match. He's only 22, by the way. You're being harsh with him, my friend.
No, मुझे नहीं talent समझ आया.
Yeah, his average in first class is also very, very average, 35. As I said, he's young. He can always go out and come back in. So वो देखते हैं. I'm not going to drop anyone. I agree with you. I don't think we are in that situation where we drop people right away. I will definitely not go in with Azhar Ali opening. I think
that is a question mark. I mean, I think we'll see. I guess conditions बहुत different होगी तो हो सकता है they might not play him because I don't think Azhar has opened in test matches in the UAE, has he? I can't remember.
मुझे याद नहीं पड़ रहा. मुझे खौफ यही है कि वो ओपन करेगा and he'll score runs because again it's easier. और फिर आप एकदम से कहेंगे हमें ओपनर मिल गया and then you'll go to South Africa or New Zealand and then it'll be a rude awakening for you. No, you haven't found your opener again because your opener needs to be technically correct to bat in all conditions. ठीक है, you'll always have your favorite conditions, favorite grounds.
But Azhar for me थोड़ा follower कर रहा है तो उसका थोड़ा जो LBW का issue था, he's tried to compensate for that. But technically he's sound. I guess technically Asad Shafiq is still your best, and probably Babar Azam now.
Yeah, he's Babar Azam is Karbab. I think there's Babar Azam, and then you have a thin layer of crap, and then you have everybody else.
Asad Shafiq is I mean, if you watch him play when he's playing well, he's a very straight bat, very compact player. But he hasn't scored. I always feel like Asad Shafiq is always unlucky. Like इस दफा भी out हुआ था the leg side पे glance पे out हो गया. He got a really good ball in the Lord's Test match जब वो out हुआ. Even Melbourne का याद है जब वो जिताने लगा था. That was a crazy ball जब Stark ने कराई थी. I feel like Asad के साथ भी bad luck होती है, but for me he's still a very compact, very stable player. He'll score.
I like Asad Shafiq और plus मैं थोड़ी सी sympathy Asad Shafiq के साथ इसलिए भी है कि Asad Shafiq hasn't had a very stable run or he hasn't been given a very stable run. What I mean is कि जब Yunus और मिसबाह हक थे तो वो छठे पे बैटिंग करता था. That wasn't his position. ठीक है.
Made position his own, yeah. He's the highest scoring, most centuries in that position ever.
Exactly. So he was happy there, and all of a sudden now he has to bat up. So
because of course, yeah, आपके जो senior players retire हो गए, you played, you promote yourself up the order, you've had the experience, and you're supposed to step up. Yeah.
नहीं, I'm not disagreeing with that. वो ठीक है, वो तो national चीज थी होनी थी. But I'm just saying I can give him a little bit more time. Because I know he's a newcomer उस position पे. छठे पे batting करके it's a different batting. ऊपर आए हैं. Okay, show me if you can do it or not.
I guess it is different in the sense that different position and it requires a little bit different. But I mean, having played that many test matches, I would expect you to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
From day one.
Yeah, fair enough. So, okay, moving on. Wrapping up, I think we would have taken 1-1 before the test match, before the series started, right?
मैं तो 2-0 था.
Exactly, मैं भी 2-0 ही था.
थोड़ा सा haussla hua. But 1-1 is I think, a fair outcome. It's a fair representation of where both are, not just Pakistan. I think England will have a really tough time against India. If I look at India's batting lineup and India's bowling lineup now as well, they're pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if India wins this series in England this summer. I think India hasn't beaten England in England for a long time as well,
I think ever.
or ever. They might actually do it this time because the English team is pretty weak. Yeah, I was quite unimpressed.
Yes, and us hisab se, I think it's a good victory for them because now they will go in that series
They're gonna
on a high.
Yeah, the confidence थोड़ा मिल जाएगा, which is good.
हाँ, इंग्लैंड के साथ भी थोड़ा वही इशू है कि उनके पास बहुत players हैं and I think they're trying to have two separate teams. I will throw some like Jason Roy in the mix and just be more aggressive, but we'll see. So 1-1 fair result. I was disappointed after winning the first one, but yeah, I mean, let's face it. Let's be real here.
Exactly. आपकी expectations high होती हैं, but
हाँ.
obviously with you always get a high and then you come crashing down. So we'll wait for the next high, I guess.
Which could just be against Scotland.
It might be a new low then, not a high.
Could be. No, I'm very confident on our T20. I like these new youngsters. I like Nawaz. I saw Nawaz, Chinwari, Shahid Afridi, these guys in Scotland. I think it was Shahzad vlog. He loves that, huh?
Yeah, वो तो social media.
तो social media king है. बड़ी नई team भी उन्होंने join की, management team, game plan की. So yeah.
They'll be fine. Scotland obviously should
हाँ.
be park.
तो
But there's that with Zimbabwe and Australia in Zimbabwe, which starts sort of July 1st. They literally go straight from England to Harare for the Tri Series. That'd be fun.
It's gonna be a fun series, yeah.
Australia is obviously it'd be fun watching them play Australia.
You're okay with Shahzad making a comeback? I guess he was there. He wasn't played in the last. They didn't play him in the last T20, but he's again there.
I'm not sure about Ahmed को बहुत ज़्यादा chance मिल गया. Up literally this should be his last chance. If he doesn't score now, he should be done.
Yeah, for a while, absolutely.
Yeah, I think काफी खेल लिया. He hasn't done a lot or hasn't shown
even
a lot of potential.
Yeah. Even in PSL, he was not so hot. He played well initially. उसके बाद वो पूरी team मुल्तान के साथ ही, they were all down in the dumps.
Yeah, it's pretty average.
So,
but yeah, let's see how it goes. But Scotland should be sort of easy, hopefully, and but then they go to Harare and then Asia Cup after that, which will be fun. So cricket काफी है इस साल.
काफी cricket है, yeah. Bangladesh versus Afghanistan, my friend. This team is on a high. Afghanistan.
So I'm telling you, man, the amount of time they've taken to come to this point, Bangladesh probably took a decade.
Yeah.
वो जो उन्होंने साल में कर लिया है, जितना progress किया अफगानिस्तान में, I mean Bangladesh took years, to get to this point. 3-0 whitewash in T20 and Bangladesh ये भी नहीं कोई second string या कुछ. I mean, you had all the stars, Mahmudullah, Saqib,
oh yeah,
Shakur, Iqbal, all of them were playing, and 3-0 is tells you something about how far Afghanistan has come and how talented they are, and they're not a team you can take lightly now. I mean, वो कोई associates or minnows में नहीं की category में नहीं आते. They've made the World Cup for next year. I mean, Zimbabwe, Ireland haven't made it. Afghanistan is there among the top 10 teams. The experience they're getting, the exposure they're getting. Rashid Khan is, on a high, best T20 bowler. And you saw why, because he won you the last game as well. Bangladesh क्या crazy ending थी
Hmm.
उसकी. Last पे boundary पे तकरीबन रोका and then they run out last 1 run से हार गए because they got run out. It was great cricket, but Afghanistan clearly on a high and doing really well. So, but also really good for cricket.
Yeah, I think it's very good for cricket, and they have a flair, so they're good to watch in T20s.
हाँ पठान भाई हैं
But
हमारे.
Han Bhaiya, yeah, they have all the right ingredients to be a great T20 at least before they surprise everyone else in 50 over format. मगर मजे की टीम है देखने के लिए. But it was fun to see Bangladesh and Afghanistan, two babies, Indian babies playing in India. Good series.
That's true. Also playing.
Because beyond cricket they've been supported by at a government level, and so it was a nice little show for these two. It was fun, to say the least.
No, that's true. It is.
And while all this was happening, Afridi played his last test match. A lot of emotion from Afridi fan club.
Last T20.
Last T20, last international match ever.
That's true. As a captain.
As a captain. But man, I didn't know that Afridi. So I always knew he had a fan following. But I'm on this group on Facebook, the Boys in Green, and the amount of support and amount this unflinching support this guy has is I didn't know that, honestly, because I was off Afridi's bandwagon 6 years ago.
But I was never a huge fan until obviously he scores, which is once in maybe 10 or 15 matches. But no doubt, yaar, आपका जो I think by far the biggest cricketing star we've had after Imran Khan. I think no doubt for me he's he was a very popular. The crowd puller, आप कह लें, crowd pleaser कह लें. Huge following.
Superstar, man. A real superstar. He is.
ये तो डाउट था. क्रिकेटिंग स्किल्स में वो 0 स्टार थे, बट वैसे सुपरस्टार थे.
वाकई सुपरस्टार था. मतलब he's probably the only test, or he's probably the only cricketer I can hate and love in the same breath.
Yeah, that's true. But then T20 World Cup भी जिताया है single handedly almost.
That was his highlight. I think that really was his highlight.
But many lows.
Yeah.
Many up in the air, caught out wala scenarios, and always felt like he could have done so much more कि वो कर नहीं पाया. But जब वो खेलता था, it was fun to watch.
Or he had a knack of just playing or doing something just when all chips were down, in terms of when I thought but बहुत आ गया Afridi का, they need to move on, and then he would score 70 off 30 balls in a one day against South Africa. Yeah, 3 wickets or 4 wickets. I think he bowled very well, by the way.
Bowling उसकी consistent थी, and that's what kept him going, to be honest, because we're obviously only on batting, तो कभी भी नहीं खेल पाता. I always thought Afridi still जब उसने career शुरू किया था, he was an opener and he used to score pretty well. Once he went down the order, it was never. I still felt that up the order he was a better choice for some reason. But then he started focusing more on his bowling as well, and it got mixed up.
I don't disagree with you one bit on this. I think जब वो opener बन गया था, then I think he was fun to watch as an opener. He did more as a batsman opening the innings than coming low down the order.
Field ऊपर है, field ऊपर थी, वो just hit the field and score runs. I think that worked. But I don't know what happened. Then they put him down the order and stuff, and that sort of messed it up.
His problem was his short selection, that Pathan mindset. It wasn't anything else. But a lot of captains and management kept trying कि यार शायद नई ball की वजह से ये होता है. No, Afridi got himself out. There was never a great delivery or anything of that sort. He was a very poor selector of his shots. So But when I look back, बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं मैं कहता हूँ यार I wish this player didn't exist. कोई फायदा नहीं था उसका. He in fact did more damage to us than anything else. After this is that one is that player I look back and I say I'm glad it happened. ठीक है, statistically he could have done so much better as a batsman. I think he did an exceptional or a very decent job as a bowler. लेकिन जो पाकिस्तान की representation थी, he was always a star. People spoke about Pakistan in cricket a little bit more than they would have if Afridi didn't exist. And for that, I think that was a great service. Nonetheless, you can still write a book about him, a fascinating character. Like him and Shoaib Akhtar. Anything else, my friend, since we're not in the same room, can't share notes? What else on your mind?
Nah, I think we're good for today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. So we'll have, I guess we can do another one in 2 weeks' time, post the Scotland sort of.
Yes, we definitely. If something happens, we can have another one.
I think we'll do Eid. So
yeah, absolutely, and we will update the date of our next podcast on our Twitter page, our Facebook page. Twitter handle is Doosra Point. Facebook is also Doosra Point. And yeah, so just stay tuned there. And until next time, my friend, goodbye.
That's a big six.